There were times that I tried to leave, and that's when he threatened my life and told me that he would kill me, smother me in my sleep, put me in a garbage bag, and throw me in the river. Well, a lot of it was sexual.
Okay.
I ended up being his sex slave, really, for 10 years. I had to keep track of it in date books, our sex life. That's what he wanted. I had date books, calendar books that I had to write down our sex life in.
My God.
Yeah.
You are listening to Jenney Clark on Awakened Souls.
Okay, let me start.
Well, hello, Awakened Souls listeners. Get ready for an inspiring conversation you don't want to miss. Joining us today is the extraordinary Tanya Nicole Kach. Tanya is a survivor, author, and activist whose resilience shines through her harrowing ordeal of surviving 10 years in captivity in her predator's bedroom at the tender age of 14. Tanya's story was covered by the CBS News, NBC, People Magazine, and New York Times. She has also appeared on a TV special with Elizabeth Smart. Also, through her New York Times best-selling book, Memoir of a Milk Carton Kid, and the Lifetime movie, The Girl Locked Upstairs, the Tanya Kach Story, her powerful advocacy gives countless victims hope and healing from trauma. Today, she will share with us the realities of grooming, the pain of victim blaming, and the courage she discovered after her horrific experience. We are so excited to have her with us to share her journey of strength and survival and the enduring power of the human spirit. Welcome to the Awakened Souls podcast, Tanya.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
I would like to start out with a few questions, Tanya, about your childhood and experiences growing up. Just give us a little
Yeah,
background about that.
sure. My childhood, for the first 7 years of my life, it was pretty normal. My parents were high school sweethearts. They got married, then they had me. We went to Disney World. We did family things. Um, but my mother, when I was 7, had a nervous breakdown, and she was not mentally well at all. My mom abused me and beat me. And she was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenic.
That must have been traumatic for you.
It was. It was. And when my parents finally split, when I was 11, my dad had custody of me because of my mom's mental state.
So, how did that affect you and how did that change you as a child?
It was heartbreaking to me because, when you're a child, all you want is your mom, and I couldn't have that. So I was just a very broken little girl, very fragile.
So, did you have any aspirations as the young Tanya at all? Did you want to do something with your life at that age, or maybe you had some kind of dream for yourself?
When I was little, I wanted to be a teacher. That was really my only dream back then. But I remember playing school and all that in my room.
All by yourself?
Yes, I'm an only child.
So you kept yourself most of the time?
I had some friends, but if they weren't available or they were, doing whatever, then I had to keep myself occupied.
So how did this family dynamics of your parents separating and you being with your dad, how did that affect you and your time as a child?
It was hard. I had my grandparents as well that only lived 5 minutes away. They would come and all the time and check on me, but it hurt not having my mom.
Can resonate with that because I was born after my father passed away. So when you have a parent missing in your life, whether it's the father or the mother, it does make a lot of difference,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, it does.
So as a child, did you have a sense of your own inner strength and resilience, or is that something you discovered along the way?
No, I discovered that along the way.
You were more fragile, like you said. So could you share some experiences where you bullied in school, or where did you feel isolated, or you felt like you didn't belong?
It was just hard,
Yeah.
very hard.
So without delving into the actual details that are too painful for you, could you share that pivotal moment in your life at 14 and the moments leading up to your meeting with the predator, and maybe it would resonate with other victims of abuse?
Yeah, what happened is my father started dating again. And he met someone and he fell in love and decided that we were going to move in with her, which we moved to a whole new city. And so I had to start a new school and everything. But meanwhile, I wasn't happy about it. I wanted to stay in the school I was in because I moved farther away from my grandparents and farther away from my mom, even though I had to have supervised visits with her. When I first started school, I was kind of a loner in this new school. Didn't have any friends or anything, and then I ended up getting bullied when I was in school, and that was really hard. When I first met Tom Hose, who is the one that held me captive, I had a hall pass. I had to go to the wood shop to get my project and then get on my bus, so I was allowed to get out of class 15 minutes early. So I'm walking down the hall and he turns the corner. Honestly, it scared me, and he was like, well, where's your hall pass and what are you doing out of class? And I showed him and I told him, and then he lightened up.
How old were you then? 13?
I was 14.
14.
Yes,
Okay.
I was 14. And then we had a decent conversation, actually. He turned out to be very nice to me. When I heard all these bad things about him, like, oh, don't cross him, he'll get you suspended, he'll get you in trouble, things like that. So I was just steering clear from him at first. So I remember walking away from that conversation thinking, well, he's not that bad of a guy. That's how I first met him.
And that is not an age when we can actually discern a good person from a bad person or a predator.
Right.
So when did the relationship build into a friendship kind of a thing? And what happened? You can take us back. And you started trusting him.
Yeah, I started trusting him. Every time I was in the hall, he talked to me. He was very nice. But then it got to the point where he would take me out of the classroom. And, he would come up to the classroom door and say, well, Miss Cash, let's go. And I'm thinking, what am I in trouble for? And I would get out into the hall and I'm like, well, what did I do? And he says, nothing. We're going to walk around and talk. And we walked around and we talked. The spot that we really talked at was underneath the gym stairs. He caught me skipping class one day down there with a friend. He sent his friend to the office, to the principal, but stayed with me down there, and I was getting all my stuff together, and that's whenever he kissed me. And, then now that I know it was grooming that was happening, because he would give me money for cigarettes. He would just constantly tell me how I would have a better life with him rather than my life at home, which wasn't a good life because my dad's girlfriend did not like me. He never did. It was just not a good environment at home. And my father just stopped caring. He just forgot he had a daughter anymore. And that hurt. So I was just starving for love.
Yes.
And Tom Hose started showing me love.
Giving you the attention.
What I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, the attention that, that I so crave.
Kind of like a father figure kind of attention, which you were not getting from your dad. Can you share with us the moments leading up to the abduction so that, we can help other victims also being aware of the signs of grooming?
Tom kept telling me that I would have such a better life with him rather than at home. It got to the point where he convinced me to run away to him. And I did. I packed a bag and I ran away to him. I didn't go to his house at first. I went to Judy Sokol's house first, which was Tom's accomplice.
Okay. Was she his friend?
Yes, they were friends. And I couldn't go to his house at first because he lived with his elderly parents. He didn't want them to know. So I went to Judy's, and that's whenever she called him and told him I was there. And he waited until his elderly parents left. That's when I went down there to his house.
Okay, and were his parents aware of it that you were there?
They never knew I was there.
Okay.
His parents.
His parents never knew?
No.
So, can you share some moments about the captivity, what happened, and the turning point?
Well, when at first I was back and forth to Judy's, and it wasn't so bad until, CYS, the Child Protective Services, showed up at her house questioning. She denied everything, but that's whenever she ended everything with Tom, and she said she didn't want involved anymore. And that's when I was fully at Tom's house, and I had to stay up in the bedroom, locked in the bedroom. There, it was really hard on me. There were times that I tried to leave, and he threatened my life and told me that he would kill me, smother me in my sleep, put me in a garbage bag, and throw me in the river.
That must have been so traumatizing.
Yes, it was a lot of sleepless nights.
Scared for your life?
Yes, I was scared for my life every day. Every day. Tom became a very controlling person. He controlled that house. Like, whatever was for dinner, he told his mom what to make, and she made it. If he wanted meatloaf, it was meatloaf that night. If he wanted a roasted chicken, she never disobeyed him.
So he basically had a psychopath mentality.
Yes.
A sociopath, more or less. People didn't know what he fully was behind closed doors. Yes. So how old was this lady, Judy? Was she Tom's age?
Yes. They were both 38.
Oh my God. And did she have her own children?
Yes, she did. She had 2 children. Tom had a son, and his son was 2 years younger than me.
Was
so
he
at the time, he was aware of everything, but he would never turn his back on his father.
Were there moments when you connected with a deeper sense of self-preservation within yourself? Like, I have to survive this somehow. How did you handle that part of it? Like, make yourself strong, living day to day. How did you manage that? How did you keep yourself going? And I'm sure it's very hard. You were only 14.
Yes, it was very hard. I had a very deep relationship with God. I prayed all the time. God was and still is my best friend. It was through his strength that helped get me through it. But I did everything that Tom told me to do to stay alive.
So what kind of rules and grooming methods he applied on you and told you to follow?
Well, a lot of it was sexual.
Okay.
I ended up being his sex slave, really, for 10 years. I had to keep track of it in date books for sex life. That's what he wanted. I had date books, calendar books that I had to write down our sex life in. Yeah, I had to do that. And the other thing, was I did whatever he told me to do, which was about my appearance as well. I had to lose weight. He bought box dye. He wanted me to have that bleached blonde hair and look like his Barbie doll.
So basically, he was also body shaming you in a way.
Yes, he did.
So were there moments when you connected with your spiritual self and felt the spark of hope? Was there any time something happened that helped you feel that, okay, there's a God and there are angels taking care of me right now and I'm going to get through this?
Yes, because I was alive every day, He didn't kill me. I felt that's how God was protecting me.
I just can't imagine. I mean, it's unimaginable at that age. How did your sense of self or identity evolve during that period? Did you ever feel like you were holding on to pieces of little Tanya? the one you used to be, or was there a complete transformation for you during that time?
It was a complete transformation. Like, Tanya was dead, because he gave me the identity of Nikki Diane Allen. And yes, he changed my name. And, it was after that that I felt, well, Tanya is dead.
So you buried that part of her within you.
Yes, I did.
It's painful for me even to ask this question. When you finally regained your freedom, what was it like to reconnect with yourself and heal yourself?
When I was rescued and got out of there, it was very hard to reconnect. It's like I dug Tanya back up and she came back. And that was pretty difficult to do when she was buried for so many years.
I'm sure.
I had to find my own identity, my own personality, my own, because I was controlled so much by him. Yes, he did.
When you are growing up and you form that identity of woman, becoming a woman, the most important part of your time is what he took from you, those 10 years, I feel, because that's the age when we mature as women.
Yes, he did. Yes, he stole all that from me.
Because when I read about your story and I listened to a couple of your interviews, that is what I heard the most of all. I felt like the best part of your years when we are molded and we grow up and we experience life and what shapes us, that's the time that he had you and he stole that from you.
Yes, he did.
I really feel for you, Tanya. So I would like to know, I'm sure my listeners also would like to know how you escaped from his hold and who helped you and how did you get out of there?
In 2005, Tom's dad was pretty sick, and Tom came up with the plan that, he would act like I'm his girlfriend and move me in. And his dad was in the hospital. And whenever his father got released from the hospital, that's whenever I officially met them. And I was there to help out his dad because he was very ill and to help his mom out. So I started going up to the local convenience store a couple blocks away. And I met Joe and Jan and their daughter Joelle. And from going there, I kept seeing how a marriage should be, the love between them and the love for their daughter that they had. I saw how life should be. And Joe, though, being a father, he always felt there was something off about me and there just something wasn't right. He couldn't understand why I was with this older man because the whole thing was I was Tom's girlfriend out there because nobody recognized me after all those years. But I also lost Tanya. I was Nikki. Joe always thought something was off. And when Joe started questioning me, I eventually broke down and I told Joe, and I blamed myself. I said, I did something so horrible in my life. And Joe looked at me kind of baffled, like, what do you mean? And I told him that I ran away and I was with Tom for the last 10 years. And I was 24 at that time. And that's when Joe looked me up on the National Missing and Exploited Children's website, and then he got in touch with the police and got the ball rolling to get me out of there. Because I wouldn't do anything out of the ordinary. The day I was rescued, I still went to the store for Tom, and I had to buy him hair dye and a couple other things. I went back to the house acting like nothing until the police came. I'm the one that opened the door, and there was a detective standing there, and he was like, "Are you Tanya Nicole Kach?" And I collapsed in his arms, and I said, "Yes, I am." And that's when he sent the police in with their guns drawn, and they brought Tom downstairs. He was upstairs in the room reading the newspaper, and they grabbed a chair from the dining room and they put it in the middle of the living room, and they told Tom to sit there and shut up. And Tom kept saying to me, "Well, what's going on? What's going on?" Thinking I was going to defend him. But at that point, I realized what he had done to me. And I looked at him and I said, "It's over." And the police got me out of the house, took me to the police station.
Did his How did you explain things to your dad? And I also want to know how his parents reacted. And when his
Right.
parents realized it, I'm sure they must have been baffled and shocked.
They were baffled and shocked, and his mother did say to the police, she goes, "What are you doing in here? Why are you doing this to my son?" And that's when the detective looked at her and said, "Your son's been holding her captive for the last 10 years."
And she
And
did.
yeah, she didn't know it. And she just turned around, went into the kitchen and sat down and stared out the window.
What about your dad? Were you taken home immediately, or did they come and pick you up? And
They contacted my father, and he came to the police station, and we were reunited. And my father took me home to his house. He was married to his then girlfriend,
by
the
that,
same woman. Yeah, by that time they were married. And he took me home, and I sat up all night with my father, and I told him everything that happened. Everything. They'd never had any children, and neither did my mom. So I told my dad everything, and then the next day it's when the detectives came and interviewed me, and they had to formally charge Tom and everything, but they had to hear my statement, which took 3 days of sitting down being interviewed.
obviously. Was your father supportive, and how did
At
he take
first,
you back home?
my father was supportive at first,
Okay,
but then my father turned on me and started to blame me for what happened.
that's terrible.
And and to this
But
day, my father still blames me.
you were abused, you were a child, you were groomed.
Yeah.
People talk about Stockholm syndrome and they don't understand what it can do to a child. At your age, at 14, you didn't even know what was happening to you. You didn't realize until it was too late. Like I said, you through the best years of your life, and basically, as you said, he made you into his sex slave.
Yes, he did.
And how was your mom? How did she support you? Did she support you?
I was reunited with my mom. My mom was very supportive of me. My mom was a lot better mentally. She was great. She was remarried, and her husband was very supportive of me as well. They helped me out a lot. I ended up moving out of my father's house after a couple of months, and I moved in with my mom and her husband.
And your mom was okay by then, psychologically, mentally, she was in a better place.
Oh, yes, much, much better place. And to this day, my mom and I are very, very close.
I think women understand abuse better than men because, yeah, you have to
Right.
do that to understand it. Healing is from such a traumatic experience, it's a lifelong journey. It's not something that you can get over in days or weeks or even months. It's because I'm sure you must have had nightmares even years later. So,
Yeah.
are you having any practices or belief systems, or has there been any therapy in your life, or people who have been instrumental in helping you in your healing? Any mentor?
Um, yeah, whenever I was rescued, the Center for Victims put two advocates with us. And there was a family advocate, Tim, and then there was my personal advocate, Geraldine. And Geraldine helped me so much. And she is someone that I am so fond of to this day. And I thank her for helping me. She got me back into school to get my GED. She helped get me health insurance because I didn't see a doctor for 10 years. I had to go see a dentist, a doctor, and everything because I didn't see any of that for 10 years.
I'm so sorry.
I'll never forget whenever I got out of there and I went to the dentist for the first time. I needed 9 root canals.
Wow.
Yeah, how bad my teeth were.
And what happened if you felt sick? I'm sure you must have had instances when you felt very sick. What would he do
Yeah,
then?
nothing. He never bought me medicine, nothing. He told me to suck it up.
Oh my God. So, do you have a sense of purpose now that you have been through all this? Can you tell us a little bit about any advocacy or how you've been supporting other victims?
Yes, I do the podcast to help support anyone, and I always tell everyone to reach out to me. I'll gladly message you back and talk to you and help you through whatever you're going through or whatever you went through in your life. I've done tons of interviews. They made a movie about me.
Yes, could you tell
Uh,
us about that? About the experience with the movie?
yes, Lifetime made a movie called The Girl Locked Upstairs. And it shows everything that happened. They started whenever I was in school, so they don't show my childhood or anything. But they show the whole captivity and everything that happened, and I was in the works then with Elizabeth Smart. It was great working with her, and I got to meet her and do a sit-down interview with her where she interviewed me. And meeting her meant so much to me because I met someone that went through the same thing I went through, and we looked at each other and we both understand what each other went through.
It felt like a sisterhood, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes. And she is such a great, humble, down-to-earth person. She really is.
What was that interview like, and could you take us through those moments a little bit?
The interview, the questions that she asked was the same questions that she's been asked and that she's answered in her life. And it was such a gentle interview. It wasn't a difficult interview at all. She made me feel very comfortable.
It was not awkward at all, I'm sure, because it's somebody who's been through the same thing as you, and I'm sure she felt your pain.
Yes. Yes, we both felt each other's pain.
Has there been any mentors in your life, and are you still going through therapy?
I am still healing. I'm still in therapy today. I'll always be in therapy. The mentor that I had was Geraldine, my advocate. I look up to her so much. She was there for me. Then I had the co-author of my book. I wrote a book.
Yes, can you tell us about your book?
With Lawrence Fisher. He was my attorney. And it's called Memoir of a Milk Carton Kid, and it's my autobiography. It's my whole life up until whenever I met my husband now.
So when you go through trauma the way you have, do you think forgiveness is a complicated process? And have you wrestled with the idea of forgiving those who have harmed you? It took so much out of you. Have you forgiven them, and have you forgiven yourself for making the choice of trusting such a person?
Yes, the forgiveness is the hardest part, and my pastor helped me through that. She let me know it's okay to forgive, but you're not forgiving for them. You're forgiving for yourself. I forgave myself. I forgave Tom Hose for what he did to me, and Judy Sokol.
Yeah.
But I want people to think, oh, well, she forgave them. No, it's not for them. It's for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I think more than Tom, the woman, it was a betrayal of a woman, and she was an adult. So forgiving her must have taken a lot.
It did. It took a lot to forgive.
So writing your book, your memoir of a Milk Carton Kid, and sharing your story publicly must have been both liberating and also challenging, I would say. What drove you to put your truth out there, and how has it shaped you, your sense of self-worth, and has it made you feel more free, or has it been therapeutic?
Yeah, it was very therapeutic. And what kept me going was I wanted to help people, and that's all I wanted to do was just help people. And that's my drive today, is to still just to help people. That's why I do the interviews and I do podcasts, like, to help people. And that's why I agreed for Lifetime to make the movie. I knew it would help people.
What was the feedback like once people watched the movie? Did many people reach out to you? People who've been through similar experiences of grooming to
Yeah, I had a lot.
Yes?
Yeah, I still get messages every day. And I try to get back to every single one of them.
Through your advocacy, you've become a beacon of hope, I'm sure, for many people. What message do you want to impart, share with people who have survived abuse and trauma like you have, especially sexual abuse, and people who are still struggling and who want to find their voice? What is your message to them?
That there's light at the end of the tunnel. And there always will be. And you just got to stay strong and keep pushing forward. You're going to have your days where you're down, but that's okay. but you're going to have your days where you're so strong and you feel like you can overcome anything. And you can. You absolutely can.
Yeah. Could you tell us how you met your uh, current life partner, the love of your life, and
Yeah.
share with us a little bit about it?
We met back in 2008. We were working at Kmart together.
Okay.
And we went out as friends about 5 or 6 times, but getting to know him and him getting to know me, we ended up falling in love with each other. And he had a very rough childhood himself. And we both understood each other. And he's such a genuine, down-to-earth guy and so loving, so caring that I couldn't have asked for a better man. And he's been my rock for 17 years now.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's really beautiful. 17 years.
Yeah, and that man treats me like a queen. I couldn't ask for anything better.
That must have been part of your healing.
Oh, yeah, yes. And the thing that I wanted to let people know as well is don't stay bitter, you know? Don't stay bitter. Like I said, there's light at the end of the tunnel and you will heal. You will heal. It takes time. I'm still healing. And this is many years later. You know, I go to my therapy once a week to heal. And I do recommend everyone to go to therapy if it's good for you.
Even after all these years, you still go for therapy?
Yes, once a week.
Okay, I suppose that's another way of working on yourself too. And giving yourself love because you accept continuous process of healing and the journey is ongoing. Do you still get nightmares?
I still get nightmares. You know, I'm on a medicine to help curb them, which helps. It's called Prozocin, and it helps a lot with nightmares. But I do get the flashbacks. The medicine isn't 100% proof, but it really helps.
Are there any other steps you would like to share with our listeners on the healing process? Any particular steps or habits that you apply to your life that is helping you heal in this journey apart from therapy?
Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Don't do that, Be very gentle with yourself. And like I said, you're going to have your down days, which is okay. Just take a breath, take a moment to just, breathe it all in. But you'll figure out how strong you truly are. What helps me find purpose is helping others and speaking about what happened to me to help others.
How would you define your strength? Is it your marriage, your husband, your willpower, your discipline?
It is. It's my husband, and yes, it's my willpower. Yes. And strength also comes from going to therapy. It does. It helps me.
How has your understanding of everything evolved from the girl you were in those 10 years? Because I'm sure from 14 till the age of 24, you were still a child because you didn't have exposure to the real world. You were under somebody's control. So,
right.
How did you evolve from that age and how did you become the woman you are today?
It took a lot of growing. And like I said, it was therapy that helped me a lot. And that's why I can't stress enough about therapy. There's nothing wrong with it. It helped you so much to sit down and to just talk about your problems and get them out.
Spiritually, how have you worked on yourself, spiritually speaking?
After everything happened, my relationship with God only drew stronger. It grew a lot stronger.
So,
and I'm very, very faithful to the Lord.
If you could speak to the young Tanya from your childhood, knowing all that you were about to go through and your journey ahead, and the woman she was about to become, what would you tell her today?
Stay strong. Don't give up. Don't give up at all. Don't give up.
So, on our podcast on the Awakened Souls, we are all about connecting with the deepest truths within our soul and evolving in life's journey. And everybody has their own journey and not going to be easy always, but yours was, I would say, one of the toughest journeys I've ever heard on my podcast. So how has your journey shaped your understanding of what it means How has your understanding shaped you to become an awakened soul?
It shaped me, just into a stronger woman and to advocate for myself.
So, what's next for you, Tanya? How do you envision your journey unfolding? And how would you continue to inspire others?
I have some speaking engagements coming up where I'm a keynote speaker, and I am going to just go out there and give it my all and to help people.
Thank you so much, Tanya. We are so glad you joined us today. Is there anything else you would like to share with our listeners to help them with your own journey? And perhaps something special and that you may have not shared with others that you would like to share with us?
Never give up hope. Seriously, don't ever give up hope. Always keep that hope, even if it's buried so deep down inside. Don't give up.
I loved having this experience of talking to you and getting to know your truth and your inner journey with your spirituality, as well as all that you had to go through in life to make you this strong, resilient woman you are today. You are a real truth warrior. You are an awakened soul, truly. And I am so humbled to have had you on this podcast and to have had the honor of listening to all that you had to share from this painful experience. I'm sure it will help a lot of trauma survivors who are listening to us today. And it could resonate with them. It could help them understand that life doesn't stop and you can get through this. Whatever it is you're going through, you can get through this. And there's hope. There's also love waiting for you at the end of it. True love,
Yeah.
right? Thank you so much, Tanya.
Thank you.
God bless you. Namaste.
Oh, thank you. God bless you too.
You are listening to Jenney Clark on Awakened Souls.